Inner peace is not a gift that falls unexpectedly from the sky, nor a reward reserved for those who win in the race of comparisons. It is the result of a persistent choice, made again and again, every single day. The choice to listen to oneself instead of the noise of the world. The choice to let go at the right time instead of clinging until one's hands bleed. The choice to look deep into the roots of suffering instead of chasing after its shadows. When we truly understand this, we see that happiness has never existed outside of us. It lives right where we breathe in and out, right where the mind ceases to stir. People often mistake peace for weakness. They think silence means surrender, that not arguing is losing, that smiling is giving up. But inner peace does not mean resignation. On the contrary, it is the strength of one who understands life. To understand that every argument drains energy, every stubbornness exhausts the soul, and every comparison impoverishes gratitude. The strong are not those who speak the last word, but those who know when to stop and still keep their hearts pure. Sometimes silence is the greatest courage, because it means overcoming the need to prove oneself, to protect serenity for both oneself and others. To have peace, one must learn to let go. Letting go is not losing. It is returning everything to its rightful place. Let go of pressure to realize you're not carrying the sky. Let go of the past so that tomorrow has space to bloom. Let go of negativity to allow light into the dark corners of the soul. Let go of resentment so that the heart becomes half as heavy. Those who know how to let go are not poorer. They are rich in another way. Rich in energy, in simple joy, in space for love to dwell. The more wisely we release, the more firmly we hold onto what truly matters: virtue, compassion, and integrity with ourselves. There are wounds we entrust to time, believing they will close if we wait long enough. But time holds no magic. It only passes. It heals no one. Only when we return to tend those wounds, with honesty, acknowledgement, and compassion for ourselves, does the pain find its way out. Many fear facing sadness and bury it under work, social media, or hurried pleasures. They find brief calm in an afternoon, only to fall apart at night. Inner peace comes only when we dare to sit beside our sorrow, place a hand upon it, call it by its name, ask what it needs, and gently lead it through. Tending to emotions is an art, and that art begins with a single act: seeing without judgment, without rejection, without attachment. Suffering, when traced to its roots, often arises from the stories we tell ourselves. We hurt not only because of what happened, but because of the interpretations we pile upon it. A curt word from someone becomes, "They despise me, I'm worthless, no one needs me," and so the heart collapses. Yet the same word, seen through another lens, could mean they're tired, they lack grace, they have their own pain. When the story in the mind changes, the feeling changes and the world changes. Peace, therefore, is not about transforming life overnight, but about changing perspective, little by little, through awareness and practice. We cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can learn to control how we respond. Some ask, if we don't fight back, won't we be taken advantage of? In truth, not fighting with anger does not mean inaction. Inner peace does not strip away willpower, it refines it. We can still say no clearly, protect our boundaries, and stand up for what is right, but without hostility guiding our actions. When action arises from peace, our words become simple yet convincing, our steps light yet firm. We need not defeat others. We only need to remain loyal to our values. That is a quiet, enduring strength, unseen, yet deeply rooted. Living in a hurried age, letting go has become the art of choosing less to gain more. Less useless information for more moments of stillness. Less wasted emotion on trivial conflicts for more energy to nurture meaningful connections. Fewer explanations for more space to listen. We are not obliged to be everywhere, to answer every call, to carry every burden. We have the right to step back, to turn down the noise, to return and cultivate the field of our hearts. When the inside grows spacious, the outside naturally becomes light. Inner peace is also about relearning how to breathe and how to live slowly that a deep breath can save a conversation from collapse. A minute of silence can prevent a wrong decision. An unhurried morning can change the course of a day that we often think happiness is a grand project, something that needs dazzling milestones. Yet most of it lies quietly in small, steady things. A warm cup of water sipped slowly, a few pages read attentively, a walk beneath sunlight, a phone call to say thank you, a short message to say I'm sorry. These habits are like small, enduring stones that build the foundation within us, so that when storms come, the inner house still stands out of course. No one can stay peaceful forever. There will be days of exhaustion, anger, envy, confusion. But inner peace does not demand perfection. It only asks for our return. Each time we get lost, we come back. Each time we stumble, we rise. Each time we speak harshly, we apologize. Each time we break a promise to ourselves, we begin again. That humble repetition is the spine of serenity. Instead of scolding ourselves, "Why am I still not there?" we can smile and whisper, "I'm on the way." Everyone is on their way. The difference lies in whether we remember to look up at the sky and breathe. On this path, self-compassion is the key, often left behind, that we tend to be harsh with ourselves, demanding instant mastery, to stay calm in every storm, to be generous like saints. But such pressure only breeds disappointment. Compassion is not indulgence. It is teaching ourselves gently, patiently. I wasn't kind enough today. I'll try again tomorrow. My words were too heavy this time. I'll speak softer next time. I'm learning, and so is the other person. When we can talk to ourselves like that, the knots of guilt and shame begin to loosen. And those are the two ropes that most often strangle peace. Another misunderstanding about peace is thinking we must escape the world to find it. In truth, the most beautiful peace is peace in the marketplace. Amid deadlines, we still breathe steadily. Amid conflicts, we still keep respect. Amid praise and blame, we still know who we are. Peace doesn't make us abandon responsibility. It helps us fulfill it without being drained. A peaceful person is not one with fewer duties, but one who knows where each thing belongs. The task in its place, the self in its place, the people in theirs. They know what must be done now and what can wait. What is theirs to hold and what must be released, which relationship to nurture and which to let go. There will come a time when we must release what we deeply love, a relationship we've given our all, a dream that no longer fits, a version of ourselves we were once proud of. Letting go of what's precious is the hardest test of peace. Yet if we stay only out of fear, we begin to wither. To release with courage is to open a new door for ourselves and for what we release. Many doors only appear when our hands are empty. And those empty hands, even if trembling, are proof that our heart still believes in a wider path ahead. Suffering comes from the mind, and so does joy is not a phrase that blames the victim. It's an invitation to reclaim our power. When we realize we have a part in shaping how we think, feel, and respond, we no longer sit waiting for the weather of the heart to change on its own. We begin to work with it, noticing distorted thoughts, pausing before reacting, nurturing gratitude and sufficiency that we build a spiritual immune system. Less toxin, more vitamin for the soul. Less comparison, less mindless scrolling, less judgment. More presence, more appreciation, more genuine connection. When that immune system grows strong, even a storm becomes only a passing rain. All of this may sound abstract until we choose one small change, and do it today. For example, before replying to a message that makes your face flush with anger, place a hand on your chest, take 3 deep breaths, and ask, which response keeps my dignity and respects the other person? Or each night, write down 3 small things you're grateful for. A warm meal, a kind word, a moment of sky. Or once a week, spend an hour screen-free. Walking, listening to your own voice. These small, consistent acts quietly rewire the mind, like a patient stream smoothing the surface of rough stone. In the end, Inner peace is a journey without a destination that we don't achieve peace and store it on a shelf. We live with it, nurture it, lose it, find it again. And with each return, we know ourselves a little more. One day, we'll realize that true happiness was never loud. It is the way we sit upright, breathe deeply, smile gently, and speak what needs to be said with a calm, steady tone. It is when we no longer torment ourselves for not being loved the way we wish, or rage because the world doesn't follow our timing. It is when we know how to say enough in a life that constantly whispers more. When we know how to say stop to lessons we've already learned and yes to the present moment. And if all of this could be folded into a single reminder, perhaps it would be this. Happiness does not come from struggle. It comes from peace within. That peace blooms when we choose to release what weighs us down, to see what truly matters, and to return to the breath as we would return home. Time alone does not heal. It is we, with understanding and kindness toward ourselves, who mend the old wounds. Walk slowly. Breathe deeply. Be kind. Every small step taken in the right direction is already bringing you closer to that inner home, the place no storm can shake, and no praise or blame can steal the life from within. Letting go. The art of in life. There are things we believe we must hold on to tightly in order to keep, but the tighter we grip, the faster they slip away. And there are things we fear to release, thinking that letting go means losing, but only when we let go do we realize we have just found ourselves again. Letting go, two simple words that hold within them a profound philosophy of freedom, happiness, and wisdom. No one is born knowing how to let go. It is something we must learn and keep learning all our lives. Letting go, first of all, means releasing pressure that we live in an age of speed. Fast to live, fast to earn, fast to succeed. We are haunted by the need to catch up in our careers, our possessions, our relationships, our status. In this endless race, pressure becomes a suffocating garment, tightening until we can hardly breathe. Yet the greatest pressure does not come from the outside world. It comes from within us. We are the ones who set the bar too high, who fear falling behind, who measure our worth by the yardstick of others. When we release that pressure, we realize we don't need to be like anyone else, we don't need to be perfect, and we don't need to be loved by everyone. Each person has their own rhythm, their own journey, their own season to bloom. Give yourself the right to walk slowly, to rest without guilt, to pause without shame. Sometimes, only when we stop do we finally see the path. A heart under constant strain cannot see clearly. Only one that knows how to loosen can truly soar. Letting go of pressure is not giving up ambition. It is choosing to strive gently without exhausting the heart. Next, we learn to let go of the past. The past is like an old room filled with broken things we keep out of nostalgia or fear of emptiness. But holding on leaves no space for the present to enter. Everyone carries regrets, mistakes, unspoken words, missed chances. Yet what's done cannot be undone. Only our way of looking at it can change. The past, placed properly, becomes a lesson. Clung to with bitterness, it becomes a chain. Letting go of the past does not mean forgetting. Forgetting erases. Letting go accepts that what happened has happened, that the person is gone, that the opportunity has passed. And in that acceptance, freedom arises. Like a river that must leave a bend behind to reach the sea, we too must move forward. Everyone has a season that has passed, but only those who dare to keep walking will see the season to come. The past is not a place to live forever. It is a place to bow to once, and then walk away with a smile. Some ask, if I let go of everything, won't I become numb? No, letting go is not coldness. It is awakening. The numb no longer feel. The awakened still love, but love with clarity. They do not let emotion dictate action, nor let pain become chains. They understand that some people are meant to walk only a part of our path, and some experiences exist only to teach. When a bond is done, clinging only deepens the wound. Then there is letting go of negativity. Within each of us flow two streams, one of light, born of faith, and one of shadow, born of fear. If we water fear, it grows and devours the light. If we water faith, life brightens on its own. Letting go of negativity doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It means seeing darkness without letting it swallow us. Some people have lived with negativity so long that they mistake it for their identity. They assume others are bad, the future bleak, themselves unlucky. But every negative thought is a thread that ties us to the same place. Letting go of negativity means stopping the habit of blaming, comparing, and despairing, and learning instead to find one small good thing in every circumstance. The sky is never only clouds. We just spend too long staring at the gray to notice the light. And finally, the hardest, letting go of resentment. Anger feels like strength, but it quietly consumes us from within. When we hate someone, we carry them in our minds day and night, stabbing our own hearts with every recollection. Forgiveness does not mean saying, "You were right." It means saying, "I choose peace over being right." We forgive not because the other deserves it, but because we deserve peace. The person who hurt us may never apologize, but if we keep holding on to anger, they remain our captor. When we forgive, we reclaim our freedom. It's like setting down a stone we've carried too long. The hand finally opens to receive a flower. Forgiveness is the bravest act of the human heart, for it requires a love greater than pain, a wisdom greater than pride. Some ask, when we've let go of everything, what remains? The answer is simple: freedom. When we let go of pressure, of the past, of negativity, of resentment, we become light. We're no longer driven by emotion, no longer afraid of what hasn't come, no longer trapped in what is past. We live in the present, holy and awake. To wake each morning with a heart light as wind, a mind clear as water, that is the greatest blessing. Yet letting go cannot be forced. One can declare, "I will let go," and wake up weightless tomorrow. Letting go is a process. Sometimes we think we've let go, but a melody, a memory, a single word brings the ache back. That's okay. Each pang is another chance to learn tenderness toward ourselves. Don't call yourself weak. Deep wounds don't heal overnight. Give yourself time. With each passing day, pain loses a little sharpness, memory a little heaviness. One day, when you look back and simply smile, that's when you'll know you've truly let go. Letting go also requires wisdom, to know what to release and what to keep. There are things small but worth holding, like dignity, kindness, gratitude. And things that seem big but must be dropped, like vanity, pride, empty status. The wise don't let go blindly. They let go with discernment. They keep what grounds them and release what burdens them so they can rise higher. Life is like a tree. To grow, it must shed old leaves. If it clings to them, it will have no energy for new buds. So it is with us. Each stage of life asks for renewal. Sometimes letting go isn't merely setting something down. It's embracing change. Changing a job that no longer fits, leaving a relationship that no longer heals, ending a habit that quietly harms. Such choices hurt at first, but that pain is the ache of growth in Buddhism. There's a saying, adapt to conditions without losing yourself. Hold to your essence while flowing with change. When we understand this deeply, we finally know how to let go, because we see that everything arises and fades by its own cause. People arrive by affinity, depart by its end. Gain and loss, success and failure are all just waves upon the surface. When the heart is still, even waves are calm. Letting go is also an act of faith. Faith that when we truly release, life will not abandon us. Faith that some doors only open when our hands are empty. Faith that what is lost was never truly ours to keep. Life has its own quiet order. When we drop what is heavy, it often places in our hands something lighter, purer. But to see it, we must trust, wait, and stay open. The one who knows how to let go is never poorer, but richer in energy, in wisdom, in peace. They wear no mask, run from no feeling, and need to prove nothing. They live sincerely, speak truthfully, and love genuinely. They know the world is imperfect, so they don't demand perfection. They know everyone carries a story, so they choose compassion. And they understand that nothing is more precious than a free soul. Letting go is not just an action. It is a state of being. When the mind releases, everything changes. The same situation. One who clings suffers. One who lets go feels light. The same event. One sees loss, the other sees opportunity. Ultimately, the difference between misery and peace is how much we can let go. If one day you feel weary, sit down, breathe deeply, and ask yourself, what am I holding too tightly? Perhaps it's a person, an expectation, a fear, an old word. Try setting it down, even for a moment. You may hear your own breath again, softer, truer. From there, little by little, you will learn how to let go. Because in the end, letting go is not an ending. It is a beginning. The beginning of a new soul, a new way of living, a genuine freedom. When we learn to let go, we finally learn how to keep what truly matters. Peace, kindness, and the quiet smile that rises from within. That is the greatest gift life can offer to anyone who dares to master the art of freedom. A way of seeing life. Change your view. Change your life. A life in itself is not suffering. What makes us suffer is the way we look at it. In the same rain, one person laments their soaked clothes, another rejoices at being refreshed. Faced with the same failure, one despairs while another treats it as a lesson. Given the same criticism, one is wounded while another grows. The world doesn't change much, but the way we perceive it can change everything. When we change our perspective, life changes its color. Life is impermanent. Everything comes and goes. Nothing stays forever. Yet it is precisely because of impermanence that life is precious. If every day were the same, we would never learn to cherish today. If everyone lived forever, no one would fear losing what they have. Impermanence teaches us to know enough, to be grateful for what is present, knowing it will inevitably change. One who understands impermanence no longer clings. They love more deeply, but also more lightly. They know that life cannot be possessed, only appreciated, that we often suffer because of comparison and attachment. Comparing ourselves with others makes us forget our own path. Attachment traps us in the very things we created. A person who lives in comparison is never happy because there will always be someone who surpasses us in some respect. A person who is attached is constantly bound by, it must be this way, it must be that way. But life does not operate by musts. Rain does not stop because we feel sad. Flowers do not bloom more slowly because we feel angry. When we learn to accept life as it is, instead of forcing it to match our will, peace begins to appear. Happiness is not far away. It is not found in grand things, but in how we look at the ordinary. A simple meal, eaten with gratitude, tastes better than a lavish banquet. A familiar street, walked with fresh eyes, reveals countless small wonders. Some people spend a lifetime chasing happiness far away, while it stands right at their doorstep, waiting for them to pause. It turns out happiness doesn't come from having more, but from needing less, fewer cravings, fewer comparisons, fewer resentments. Life is like a mirror. Smile at it, and it smiles back. Look upon life with suspicion, and it returns doubt. With compassion, and it softens. Attitude is the mold that shapes destiny. We may not choose our circumstances, but we can choose how we view them. Imagine two people on the same train car. One looks out the window and sees a radiant sunset. The other stares into a dim corner and feels only gloom. The train moves all the same. What differs is the state of the traveler's heart. Life rises and falls. Sometimes the wind is fair, other times it blows against us. What matters is not the wind's direction, but how we set our sails. Those with a bright perspective will always find a course, even in adversity. They don't ask, why is this happening to me? They ask, what is this trying to teach me? The second question lets in light. The first locks us in darkness. When we treat each event as a lesson, nothing is wholly lost. We are simply learning how to become larger. In Eastern thought, Life reflects the state of the mind. A peaceful heart sees a peaceful world. A restless heart sees a restless one. A person filled with anger sees injustice everywhere. A person filled with compassion sees reasons to care wherever they look. The world may not have changed. Our eyes have. When we begin to change our thinking, life softens accordingly. The ancients said, when the mind is pure, the land is pure, meaning that as our inner light clears, so does the world around us. Those who simplify the complicated feel lighter than those who complicate the simple. Some things require no solution. Some disputes need no verdict of right or wrong. Sometimes preserving inner peace matters more than proving a point. The more we insist on explaining everything, the more exhausted we become. When we allow things to be what they are, calm returns. Simple living is not a poor life. It is choosing what is worth our attention. Amid the clamor, the wise know when to be quiet. In life, knowing enough is enough. The poor person is not the one who has little, but the one who wants too much. The more we want, the emptier we feel. One who knows enough, be it a bowl of rice, a small roof, a warm cup of tea, finds life abundant. Contentment is the simplest yet most profound lesson. Contentment is not laziness. It is gratitude for the present and freedom from the grip of greed. With contentment, envy fades, comparisons cease, and the world no longer feels unfair. We begin to live true to ourselves. A positive outlook does not mean naivete. It is a mark of wisdom. Such people see the darkness, but do not stop there. They know that only with darkness can we appreciate the value of light. When they fail, they don't call it the end, but time to begin again. When betrayed, they don't abandon faith in people. They learn to choose more worthy companions. When misunderstood, they don't rush to justify themselves. They trust that time will clarify. They choose to believe in goodness, not because life is always good, but because they want to guard their inner light. Those who treasure each day live more deeply than those who merely count years. Waking up and finding ourselves still breathing, that is a small miracle. Eating a good meal, hearing a beautiful song, having someone to thank. These are gifts life offers. We often treat happiness as a distant destination, forgetting it lies along the road. When we inhabit each moment fully, we need not travel far to find serenity. It is already within us. Our perspective on life mirrors our maturity. The unseasoned see hardship and complain. The mature see hardship and smile. This, too, shall pass. The unseasoned wish for a life of ease. The mature wish for the strength to weather adversity. The unseasoned blame others for their sorrow. The mature learn to take responsibility for their emotions. Maturity is not never crying. It is knowing how to stand and keep walking after the tears. As our perspective shifts, we also learn gratitude. We thank those who hurt us because they made us stronger. We thank failure because it taught us humility. We thank rainy days because they help us cherish the sun. We even thank loss because it taught us how to hold on. We thank life, even when it is harsh, because it gives us the chance to temper the heart. Gratitude ends our complaints, our bitterness, our demands. In gratitude, we live inside the energy of love, the most healing energy of all. To see rightly, we sometimes have to pause. Pausing is not weakness. It is a way to see more deeply. When a car speeds too fast, the scenery blurs. So it is with life. If we keep rushing forward, we miss what is precious right beside us. Pause to breathe, to feel, to see things in a different light. Pause so we stop living by reflex and start living by conscious choice. That a broad-minded person is not trapped in extremes. They know life is not only black and white, right and wrong. From afar, a matter may look one way. Up close, another. Someone who disappoints us today may be the one who awakens us tomorrow. An event that seems like misfortune may, in hindsight, be a blessing. When we refuse to lock everything into a hasty conclusion, we open the door for life to enter in its true form. Complex, yes, but also deeply beautiful. Ultimately, Our way of seeing life is our way of treating ourselves. If we are harsh with ourselves, we will be harsh with life. If we are gentle with ourselves, we will more easily be gentle with others. Only when we stop forcing ourselves to be perfect can we smile at the imperfections around us. Life does not require us to be someone else. It invites us to live true to the goodness, love, and clarity that are already ours, that a new perspective cannot be learned in a day, but can be trained with every breath. When angry, ask, is this worth it? When sad, ask, what am I learning? When faced with unfairness, ask, what can I do to make this better? Little by little, such questions pull us out of unconscious reaction and lead us toward growth. And one day we will see, life has never had fewer waves. Our heart has simply learned to swim. When we change the way we look, the world around us stops being a wall and becomes a door. When we stop blaming, fearing, and insisting others be just like us, we begin to truly live. Life need not be perfect. If we can smile within its imperfections, that is already happiness, that living kindly and positively, sowing seeds of serenity in a world of doubleness in life. Everyone longs for peace and happiness. But peace doesn't come from how much money we have, how much power we hold, or how many people admire us. Peace comes from a kind heart, from the way we think, speak, and act each day. When a person's heart is good, the world around them naturally brightens. When one's heart is clear, everything nearby becomes lighter. Kindness is not only morality, it is also the deepest healing energy of the universe. Some say that being honest and kind in these times puts you at a disadvantage. In truth, good people may lose out at first, but in the long run, they always win, not by defeating others, but by overcoming the darkness within themselves. Those who act with malice may become rich quickly, but they live rich in fear. Those who act with goodness may be slow, but they are slow in peace. Goodness is like water, seemingly soft, yet it can wear smooth the hardest stone. It isn't loud, but it keeps flowing, steady, and nourishing to all. Good heart, good deeds, good words are the three pillars of a meaningful life. First is a good heart, the root of all good. A kind heart considers others, placing oneself in their situation before judging. With a kind heart, we view life with compassion. We see others' faults without hatred. We see their suffering and want to help. Kindness keeps us from doing harm, from speaking harshly, from sowing trouble for anyone. It helps us pause before we hurt, listen before we react, and yield a little to preserve harmony. A person with a kind heart may be materially poor but rich in goodwill. They may not stand out, yet wherever they go, they carry light. Next are good deeds, actions of goodness. A kind heart without kind action is merely a seed that hasn't sprouted. Doing good doesn't have to be grand, donating large sums, or saving lives. Sometimes it's a gentle word, a smile, a moment of patience. Slowing the car to let someone cross is an act of kindness. A child listening to their parents' old stories is an act of kindness. Restraining anger so as not to wound a loved one. This too is an act of kindness. Good deeds do not need display, for genuine goodness gives to give, not to be seen. Then come good words, speech that heals. People say words are carried off by the wind, but in truth, they can cut deeper than knives. A word of encouragement can save someone from despair. A cruel sentence can kill a person's faith. So speaking kindly is also a form of practice. Before speaking, ask yourself, is this necessary? Will it hurt someone? Will it bring anything good? If everyone remembered these three questions, the world would taste far less bitterness. Those who speak kindly may say little, yet they warm others. Those who speak with malice may be learned, but they chill the heart. Living kindly does not mean being weak or easy to exploit. On the contrary, it shows steadiness and inner strength. Only when strong inside can we be gentle to others. The fragile are easily hurt and react by attacking. The strong understand that needless reactions only drain their energy. Truly kind people refrain from wrongdoing not out of fear of retribution, but from understanding cause and effect. We reap what we sow. They avoid harm, not from fear, but from knowing that harm brings suffering to themselves and to others. Life turns on the wheel of karma. Sow a seed, reap a flower of that kind. We may do good today and see no return, but trust that no good seed falls on barren ground. It will sprout sooner or later, in ways we don't expect. A sudden opportunity, a helping hand in hardship, or simply a night of deep, restful sleep. Goodness circulates and eventually returns to the one who planted it. Conversely, those who live by ill will, no matter how clever, harm themselves. Resentment, envy, deceit, slander, and tearing others down are all ways we send bad energy into the world, and the world returns it in its own way. No one escapes cause and effect. It may not arrive immediately, but surely arrives. Those who understand this choose kindness, not because morality forces them, but because wisdom guides them. Kind people also know how to give without calculation. They help because they want to help, not to be praised. They give without expecting repayment, understanding that the true grace lies in doing what is right. A person who offers a smile may rescue another from a dark day. A person willing to listen to a single confession may save a despairing soul. To live kindly, you don't need money, only heart in modern life. Many think kindness is a luxury because the world is so pragmatic that the overly good are considered foolish. But remember, goodness is never out of date. When we live kindly, even if misunderstood, our hearts remain at peace. When we live with malice, even if praised, our hearts are uneasy. Only goodness lets us sleep soundly. It's no accident, the ancients said. With a peaceful heart, even a stone pillow is soft. With a restless heart, even brocade cushions bring no rest. Living kindly is also living positively. Positive people do not deny sadness, but they don't let it consume them. They believe that within every bad thing lies the seed of something good. Faced with problems, they ask, "What can I learn?" instead of "Why me?" They turn difficulty into opportunity and criticism into motivation. They don't let others define their worth, nor do they rush to judge others. They choose light energy, light to breathe, light to laugh, light to move forward. Positive people also see beyond the immediate. When hurt, they see not only pain, but also the lesson. When betrayed, they see not only loss, but a chance to renew themselves. When misunderstood, they don't argue. They quietly let time clarify. They know that light does not need to debate with darkness. It only needs to shine, and darkness disappears through the fine saying, "Be a good person, not so others will see, but so you can see life as worth living." Indeed, kindness doesn't place us above anyone. It deepens us within. It gives the soul depth, teaches the eyes to see with compassion, and makes the heart tremble at another's joy. When we live in that energy, happiness becomes strangely simple. Seeing someone smile because of what we did is enough. Kind people, though they pass through storms, keep gentleness in their gaze. They are not bitter, do not resent life, and do not blame others. They know everyone is wrestling with their own suffering, so they don't add burdens through judgment. Instead of asking, "Why are they like that?" they ask, "What can I do to ease their pain?" This is the highest expression of kindness, understanding others with a heart, not with prejudice. Ultimately, living kindly and positively is living in wakefulness. The awakened understand that everything is a condition of karma. Some people come to help us, some to test us, some to teach us how to love. When we see with loving eyes, enemies disappear. When we understand life with a kind heart, hatred no longer drags us down. The kinder we live, the lighter we become. The more positive we are, the freer we feel. One day, looking back, we'll realize nothing we gave was ever lost. A small act, a kind word, a smile, a hug, all remain in others' hearts like seeds in the soil, waiting to sprout into flowers. And perhaps those flowers will bloom just when we need them most, just as life quietly returns what we have sown. Living kindly and positively doesn't turn life into paradise, but makes our heart a haven. The world may be noisy, but our heart stays still. Others may be deceitful. We still choose sincerity. Others may be cold. We still choose warmth. Because we understand, light needs no recognition. It only needs to shine. So live honestly. Not to be praised, but so you never feel ashamed. Live positively, not because everything is always good, but because you trust everything carries meaning. Keep sowing goodness, even when life doesn't always respond. Because when you sow kindness, you yourself become the springtime of your life. Perspective, awareness, and to on life's journey. No one avoids rough stretches. Some pass through and complain, others pass through and grow. In the same rain, one person laments their wet clothes while another smiles, happy the trees are watered. Facing the same failure, one person grumbles about fate while another treats it as a precious lesson. Hearing the same words, one is wounded while another falls silent to understand their own heart. Life itself doesn't change, our perspective does. And that perspective determines the quality of our life. Maturity doesn't come from age, it comes from awareness. Some at 30 live as if they were 18, while some at 18 already see like those of 50. Maturity is understanding that the world doesn't operate to satisfy us. It operates to teach us. Every event, every person, every joy and pain is a teacher, if we are willing to learn. As long as we blame, we are still children. The moment we begin self-examination, we begin to grow. The mature person stops trying to control everything and learns to control themselves. They know they cannot make others always right, always loving, always fair. But they can choose their response: silence when needed, forgiveness when sufficient, departure when it's time. They don't waste energy proving they're right because they know that in an argument, even if you win the logic, you lose the heart. Beating someone else means little. Mastering oneself is wisdom. Maturity is also recognizing that absolute fairness doesn't exist. Life is not evenly distributed. Some are born at the finish line. Others must walk under the blazing sun to find a path. This difference is not for us to become embittered by, but to learn effort and compassion. Those who accept life's inequities yet strive daily have moved to a different level of living. Perfect fairness is impossible, but fairness in attitude is a choice anyone can make. Another sign of maturity is knowing how to keep silent. When young, we speak hastily, want everyone to understand us, and want to win every debate. Later we see that not everyone deserves an explanation and not every matter needs words. Silence isn't weakness, it's a form of strength. It gives us time to observe, to listen, to discern what truly matters. One who knows when to be silent has learned the art of staying calm amid noise. Along the way, we learn the art of forgiveness. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is accepting that something happened and refusing to let it control us any longer. Forgiveness is dropping the stone so we no longer feel its weight. Forgiving others frees them, but more importantly, it frees ourselves. The mature seek no revenge. They know resentment is poison we drink while hoping others will suffer. There is another quiet form of maturity, knowing how to comfort oneself. As children, we seek someone to soothe us. Growing up, we realize not everyone can understand us. Sometimes we must sit with our sadness, wipe our own tears, and tell ourselves it's okay, even when it still hurts. That is not loneliness, it is courage. Self-comfort means no longer relying on the outside to secure peace within. That is the root of true inner strength. Maturity is also knowing when to hold on and when to let go. Hold too long and we suffer. Let go too soon and we regret. With wisdom we see, what truly belongs to us will not be lost even if released. What does not belong will remain lost though we grasp it tightly. Letting go at the right time isn't heartlessness. It is self-respect. We do not trade our peace to keep what has run its course. A profound mark of maturity is choosing a positive perspective. When problems arise, the immature ask, "Why me?" The mature ask, "What can I learn?" That question opens the light. Life offers us two paths: complain, or learn. Complaining weakens us. Learning strengthens us. The mature choose learning, knowing that no one becomes a seasoned captain on calm seas. Only storms make one. As our perspective changes, we also understand others more deeply. Those who have suffered can empathize with the suffering of others. Those who have been abandoned know the fear of loneliness. Once our own heart has ached, we stop judging. Instead of asking, why did they do that? We ask, how much pain must they have endured to become like this? Such compassion is the sign of wise maturity. The mature no longer dream of a life without waves. They learn to keep balance in the waves. They understand that waves are the nature of the sea, as hardship is the nature of life. If we wait for a windless ocean to set sail, we will never see the horizon. Realizing this, we stop running, stop blaming, and begin to live truthfully through every tone of experience. We learn to smile in adversity, stand up after each fall, and befriend suffering instead of treating it as an enemy. Maturity is not only understanding, it is action. Understanding without living differently is meaningless. Truly mature people dare to change, to admit fault, to apologize, to leave old habits and live more rightly. They do not blame the past or hide behind, that's just who I am. They know each day is a chance to be better, and they cherish that chance that on this road, humility is the finest companion. Humility keeps us from arrogance in success and from self-contempt in failure. The humble see that everyone has right and wrong. Everyone is learning to live better. When we lower ourselves to listen, we open the door for wisdom to enter. The arrogant think they know it all and learn nothing. The humble know their smallness and grow day by day. Part of maturity is accepting solitude. The farther we go, the fewer companions we have. Not everyone understands our journey. Not everyone has the patience to stay. The mature do not fear solitude. They know it's the quiet needed to look within. In silence, we hear the voice of the inner self, the voice of what we truly want and where we need to go. Sometimes solitude brings us closest to our authentic being. With deep enough awareness, we stop trying to change others. We used to want everyone to understand us, to live like us, to love as we wished. Then we realize each person has their own rhythm and lesson. We have no right to force awakenings before their time. All we can do is live truthfully and brightly, so that if anyone wishes to look, they can see the path. Maturity is ceasing to be the fixer of the world and becoming the understander of the world. A mature person is grateful for adversity. If life were only rosy, we'd never discover our strength. Failure teaches humility. Betrayal teaches discernment. Loss teaches us to love more deeply. Every scar is a chapter in the book of maturity, painful but precious. Then one day, after enough miles, our heart feels light. No more need to prove, to argue, to be understood. We simply live true to our conscience and do our part, leaving the world to turn as it will. Reaching that state is inner freedom, the summit of maturity. Maturity doesn't strip away softness, it refines it. The immature bristle with sharp edges, afraid of being hurt. The mature are gentle because they know they are strong enough. They don't raise their voice to prove worth, nor strain to earn respect. They are still without being stagnant, kind without being weak, deep without being distant, that we finally see that the goal of maturity isn't perfection, it is peace. Peace with the past, with our mistakes, with others, with life, and with ourselves. When we can smile at what once made us cry, feel grateful to those who once caused us pain, and softly say thank you for the stony paths, then we have truly grown. Maturity is a journey without an endpoint. Each day we may still feel anger, sadness, jealousy, fear, but we are aware and choose not to let them rule us. Each day we may still be wrong, but we admit it and begin again. Each day we may meet difficult people, but we refuse to be dragged down. And each day we learn to live a little more kindly. That is maturity, not a milestone, but a quiet process in which we change the way we think, the way we see, and the way we love. Then we no longer fear life because we know life doesn't come to hurt us. It comes to help us become a brighter version of ourselves. Small stories. Big, at least this life, doesn't always need lofty philosophy. Sometimes a single small story is enough to awaken us. These stories seem simple, yet they hold the light of wisdom and compassion. Truth doesn't lie in ornate words, but in the most ordinary things. The glass of water and the lesson of letting go one afternoon. A Zen master held a glass of water and asked his disciple, "Do you think this glass is heavy?" The disciple replied, "Not very heavy, master." The master smiled. "If I hold it for a minute, no problem. If I hold it for an hour, my arm will ache. If I hold it all day, my arm will go numb." Yet the weight of the glass hasn't changed. Only our perception has. Do you understand? The things that tire you in life are like this glass. It's not that they're too heavy. It's that you refuse to put them down. The disciple bowed his head. The master continued, "Put the glass down, rest for a while, then you can pick it up whenever you need. Likewise, learn to let go at the right time so your mind doesn't burn out." A small story with a big reminder. Life doesn't exhaust us because of what we carry, but because we never set it down. Worries, resentments, wounds, we cling to them as if holding on could protect us, while in truth they gnaw at our spirit day by day. When we learn to let go, the hand is light, the heart is light, and we finally have the strength to hold what is truly worthy. The perfect blade of grass. A young man was tasked with crossing a vast meadow to find the most perfect blade of grass. His teacher instructed, "You may only walk forward, never turn back. When you see the blade you think is the finest, pick it." He set out and saw many lush, soft blades, but thought, "Surely there will be a better one ahead," and passed them by. The farther he went, the fewer good blades he saw. Some had already turned yellow. At the meadow's end, there was nothing left to choose. He returned empty-handed. The teacher smiled. "You see, you missed today's beauty because you assumed a greater beauty would appear later." A happy person is one who knows to stop when they've found enough. A small story reflecting most of us. We keep chasing the more perfect, a better job, a better partner, a better opportunity, and end up losing what we already have. Happiness isn't in having more, but in knowing when to pause. Only when we can say enough does the heart become peaceful. Coffee and a cup. Say, group of former students visited their retired professor. The talk turned to pressures, work, money, status. The professor quietly poured coffee into a variety of cups. Fine porcelain, glass, plain plastic. Everyone rushed to grab the prettiest cups. He smiled. "Notice how you all chose the nicer cups. That's why you're stressed. Coffee is what you truly want. The cups are just containers. Life is the same. Happiness is the coffee. Money, fame, and status are only the cups. If you fixate on the cups, you miss the taste of life's coffee." A simple, profound lesson. Don't let the means overshadow the end. We work so we can live better, not live only to work. We pursue dreams for joy, not to lose joy because of our dreams. Savor the coffee, life itself, instead of worrying about the fanciness of the cup. Guanyin and the umbrella. On a rainy day, a man went to the temple to pray for Guanyin's blessing. On the way back, he saw another worshiper drenched, having forgotten an umbrella. The first man laughed. "See, I was blessed. I didn't get wet." Hearing this, Guanyin gently said, "I don't help anyone avoid the rain. I only offer them an umbrella." Light as a raindrop, the story carries a great lesson. Buddha, heaven, good luck. None of these live our life for us. They offer tools. How we walk is our choice. The one who brings an umbrella is the one who acts. Those who pray without changing will still get soaked. Life is the same. We can pray for peace, but if we don't live kindly, how can peace come? We can pray for success, but without effort, how can success arrive? Prayer is a seed. What we do each day is the soil in which it sprouts. Point two prisoners and the bars. Two prisoners shared a cell. One looked out the window and saw only cold iron bars. The other looked through the bars and saw a sky full of stars. Same scene, different souls. One lived in a prison. The other lived in a dream. So it is with life. It's not circumstances that imprison us, but the way we view them. Some feel trapped in mansions. Others feel peaceful in small homes. When the heart is bright, anywhere is freedom. When the heart is dark, even a bustling city is a cage. Bamboo, the flute, and the drying rack, a length of bamboo, lay beside a wooden beam. One day, a craftsman came to choose bamboo for a flute. The bamboo hesitated. "You'll drill holes into me?" The craftsman nodded. "Only then can music be made." The bamboo hurt terribly. Each hole felt like a wound. But when the craftsman played, the sound was pure and enchanting. Glancing at the beam lying unused, the bamboo smiled. To become a flute, one must endure pain. If you lie still forever, you'll always be just a drying rack. A brief tale that cuts deep. Suffering is a condition for radiance. Without trials, we remain flat and unformed. Each wound is a whole life opens in us, so the wind can pass through and sing. When we stop resenting pain, we hear our own music. The flower in the pine on a mountain slope, a delicate flower bloomed beside a great pine. The flower said, "You're lucky, tall and deep-rooted. I could topple in a strong gust." The pine smiled. "I wasn't strong to begin with. I too was a tiny seed. Winds beat me, snow buried me, lightning struck me. Those storms forced my roots deeper. Without them, I would have fallen long ago." The flower fell silent. This story teaches that strength grows not from ease, but from hardship. Those who've never stumbled, never been wounded, never learned to stand firm. Each difficulty trains our roots. Each upheaval is a wind that teaches us balance. Don't curse the storm. Thank it for helping you grow. The statue and the stone, an artisan carved a statue of the Buddha, striking a large stone with hammer and chisel each day. A nearby stone mocked, "Poor you, pounded daily. How can you stand the pain?" The great stone replied calmly, "I bear pain today so I can stand in the hall tomorrow." A simple message. Value doesn't come from luck, but from endurance. Those who wish to shine must accept the forge. Many want peace without change, but those who truly understand life know that no light shines without passing through fire. The apple tree and the woodcutter each day. A woodcutter came to chop trees in the forest. One day he paused under an old, barren apple tree. No fruit, no shade. He planned to fell it, then stopped because he was tired. The next day, he returned with a different plan, to sit and rest beneath it. The apple tree suddenly understood, "Not everyone comes to take from me. Some only need me as a place to sit." A gentle lesson. Don't rush to judge your role or anyone else's. We may think we're useless, yet to someone our mere presence is a comfort. No one is superfluous. We just haven't recognized our value at the right time. That a handful of salt and a glass of water, a novice monk, heavy-hearted, came to his master. "Life tastes bitter to me. I can't bear it." The master told him to put a handful of salt into a glass of water and drink. He grimaced, "So salty." The master then took him to a lake and told him to throw in the same handful of salt and drink from the lake. "It's fresh," the novice said. The master smiled. "It's the same salt." "Why the difference?" "Because the lake is larger than the glass." Exactly. Life's salt, its suffering doesn't change. Only the size of your heart does. When your heart is small, pain fills it. When your heart is spacious, pain dissolves. This story teaches a simple truth. Maturity doesn't erase suffering. It enlarges the heart so it can hold it. These small stories may seem unrelated, yet they meet at a single point. Each teaches us to live lighter, deeper, and more authentically. Life doesn't need too much theory. Sometimes it just needs us to pause, hear a story, and look within. Each time we read, we'll find ourselves somewhere inside. Sometimes we're the one clutching the glass. Sometimes the one chasing the perfect blade of grass. Sometimes the bamboo pierced with holes, or the handful of salt in a small cup. Recognizing ourselves is the first step on the path of awakening. In the end, perhaps every story returns to a single thing. All our pain, our joy, and our lessons arrive to teach us to understand ourselves. When we understand ourselves, we understand others. When we understand others, we live kindly. When we live kindly, we are free. And then we smile softly, like someone setting down a glass after a long day, like bamboo singing as wind blows through, like a handful of salt dissolving in a great, clear lake. Life, it turns out, was never truly suffering. We simply weren't quiet enough yet to hear the calm within. Practicing mindful living. The art of slow living in a fast world amid a world growing ever noisier, where everything flashes by in an instant. Mindfulness seems to have become a luxury. People live fast, speak fast, react fast, yet seldom live truly, listen truly, or feel truly. Mindfulness is not sitting atop a mountain, nor is it reserved for monks. It is the way we are fully present with each breath, each action, each meeting. To live mindfully is to live honestly with the present, and the present is the only life we truly have. Point one. Listen to yourself each day. We hear countless sounds, traffic, chatter, phones, gossip, but how often do we listen to the voice within? Mindfulness begins when we sit down, switch off the outside noise, and attend to our inner sound. Sometimes it is an old sadness that hasn't been soothed, sometimes a forgotten dream, sometimes just a sigh of exhaustion. When we listen to ourselves, we understand why we flare up, why we fear, why we are easily hurt. Only through understanding can we heal. Many seek answers from others, but the true answer is always inside. Mindfulness is a journey home. Give yourself a few minutes each day to sit quietly, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and ask, "Where's my heart today?" Just listen. No judgment, no urge to fix. Like a kind friend who simply hears you out, you will naturally feel lighter. Point two. Breathe with awareness. Breath seems ordinary, yet it is the thread that binds body and mind. When we are tense, the breath is shallow. When we are at peace, the breath is slow. To guide the breath is to guide the mind. When angry, instead of speaking at once, take 3 deep breaths. Just 3 can save a relationship. When anxious, attend to the exhale. Each out breath is a letting go. When confused, breathe and feel your feet on the ground. You will sense that you are here and safe. Mindful living means breathing with presence, not breathing in forgetfulness. As the old saying goes, the breath is a bridge between the realm of body and the realm of mind. Cross that bridge, and life appears more vivid than ever. Point 3. Slow down to live more deeply. Today's world urges us to be quick. Eat fast, talk fast, achieve fast. Yet the things of real value take time. No flower blooms in haste. No fruit ripens overnight. Mindfulness teaches us to slow down, not to be lazy, but to see clearly. When walking, know you're walking. When eating, know you're eating. When speaking, know the words that are leaving you. When loving, know you're loving. To live slowly is to be fully present with each moment. Some ask, if I slow down, will I be left behind? No. When we slow down, we go deeper into life rather than skimming its surface. Slowness lets us notice what others miss. A mother's eyes, a father's sweat, a stranger's smile, the sky's color at dawn. Living slowly teaches us to cherish the present because we see how fragile it is. A blink, a sentence, an embrace, once gone, gone forever. Point 4. Master emotions. Master yourself. An unmindful person is easily ruled by emotions. Anger speaks, fear hides, sorrow sinks, joy forgets. Mindfulness teaches us to recognize emotions without letting them steer. When angry, you are not anger. When afraid, you are not fear. When sad, you are experiencing sadness, but you are not the sadness itself. That subtle shift is freedom. That we cannot stop emotions from arriving, but we can choose how to greet them. As we cannot forbid the rain, but we can choose to carry an umbrella. Emotions are guests. Don't let them overstay in the house of your heart. The mindful do not strain to not be sad, not be angry, or not be afraid. They notice, name the feeling, smile to it, then release it. Like waves across a lake, The wave still forms, but the lake does not lose its calm. Point 5. Speak with mindfulness. Words are seeds we plant in others' hearts. A careless word can wound deeper than a blade, while a mindful word can heal. Before speaking, ask, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? These 3 small questions can save us from much regret. One hasty sentence can undo a relationship built over years. The mindful know that timely silence is worth more than 1,000 words. Say little, but speak from the heart. When words arise from compassion, the listener will feel it, even if the sentence is simple. Point 6. Judge less. Love more. Mindfulness is not only self-knowledge, it is also understanding others. The mindful regard people with empathy, not judgment, that we don't know what someone has endured to become who they are today. When we stop judging, we open the door for compassion. With compassion, we no longer see enemies. The mindful understand that everyone is battling a private pain. The quick-tempered are not hateful, only troubled by an anxious heart. Those who lie are not contemptible, only fearful of truth. Seeing this, the heart softens, and the world does too. 7. Fewer arguments, more understanding. Mindfulness shows us that being right is not always worth a fight. Some debates exist only to feed the ego, not to uncover truth. As we mature, we choose peace over victory. The mindful don't speak to triumph. They speak to understand. They listen, not to rebut, but to empathize. They don't force others to agree. Knowing each person's perception differs, in a world crowded with voices, the mindful choose silence at the right time. Not to lose, but to conserve energy for what truly matters. Point 8. Be here now. Release the past and the future. Much human suffering comes from living in the wrong time zone. Regretting the past, fearing the future, forgetting the present. The past is gone, the future not yet. Only now is real. Mindfulness is the art of returning to now. When eating, just eat. When walking, just walk. When listening, just listen. When working, just work. Let the mind be where the body is. Water is clear when it is still. So is the mind. Only when it pauses do we see. The past, be it sweet or bitter, is only memory. The future, bright or dim, is only imagination. The present is a gift. That's why we call it the present. Treasure each moment. Morning birdsong, sunlight through the window, the scent of hot tea, the patter of rain. Everyone is meditation if you are truly there. Point 9. Limit the negative. Nourish the positive. Every day, we take in hundreds of pieces of information, much of it negative, violence, quarrels, scandal. Without mindfulness, we absorb that energy and pass it on. Mindfulness isn't fleeing the world. It is choosing what we let into the mind. As we avoid dirty food, we should avoid feeding the mind with toxins. Give time to what nourishes. Good books, gentle music, kind conversations, the nearness of nature. Use social media as a tool. Don't let it run your emotions. Each day, ask, what have I done today to lighten my heart? 10. Cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is mindfulness at its highest. With gratitude, we stop feeling lacking. Without lack, we stop grasping. Be grateful that you're still breathing. Grateful for loved ones by your side. Grateful for legs to walk and hands to work. Grateful even for hardship, for it grows us up. Those who live in gratitude see miracles everywhere. They no longer envy because they understand that everyone walks a different path. Gratitude turns the ordinary into the extraordinary and life into a gift. Point 11. Mindfulness is returning to yourself. In the end, mindfulness isn't far away. It isn't locked in lofty teachings or elaborate rituals. It lies in how we meet each moment. When washing dishes only to get them done, we miss the present. Wash the dishes just to wash them, and you are practicing meditation. When walking only to reach the destination, we strain. Walk to feel each step, and you are alive. The mindful do not chase happiness. They embody it by living wholly in each breath. Mindfulness is a long road, and no one arrives in a day. But if each morning we pause for a minute to breathe deeply, each night we give thanks for the smallest thing, Each time we are angry, we choose silence over reaction. We have already moved forward, but a mindful life is not a different life. It is a deeper one. Every small act, how we eat, breathe, speak, and listen, can be meditation if we bring our whole heart to it. When we live mindfully, we are no longer dragged by the past or pulled by the future. We are simply here in this moment, with this breath, with the person before us. And that is the truest piece of all Buddhist life philosophy. Know yourself is know, Life Buddhism does not teach people to run away from life. It teaches us how to live within life without being dragged around by it. It does not force anyone to believe, nor demand anyone to kneel. It simply invites us to look into ourselves, because within each breath, each thought, each action, the Dharma is already complete. The Dharma is not confined to temples. It lives in our steps, our gaze, and the way we treat one another. All phenomena are empty, yet cause and effect are not one of Buddhism's foundational insights, is Van Phap Jai Kong. All phenomena lack any fixed, independent essence. They arise due to conditions-dependent origination. Nothing exists on its own, forever, or unchanging. Things come when conditions ripen and depart when conditions cease. Seeing this, we cling less and therefore suffer less. We hurt because we imagine a solid I and a lasting mind. In truth, I is a continuous flow of body, mind, feelings, perceptions, changing from moment to moment. The me of yesterday differs from the me of today, and tomorrow will differ again. Recognizing this emptiness doesn't lead to nihilism. It steadies the heart amid change. We stop straining to grasp the ungraspable and can remain calm in the swirl of impermanence at the same time. Emptiness does not empty out causality. This is the meaning of Nan Qua Bat Kong. Though everything is impermanent, cause and effect remain precise and unfailing. Every thought, word, and deed plants a seed in the soil of life. Wholesome seeds bear wholesome fruits. Unwholesome seeds bear suffering. This is natural law. No judge is required. Understanding karma, we no longer fear capricious gods. We take responsibility for what we do. We stop blaming life or others. As you sow, so shall you reap. Wisdom and compassion arise together when this becomes real to us. Suffering. The pathway to wisdom, the Buddha said, life is suffering. Not to make us pessimistic, but to open the door to insight. Only by understanding suffering can we know how it ends, that we suffer through birth, aging, illness, death, through wanting and not getting, through getting and then losing, through loving yet parting, through hating yet having to stay close. The root of suffering is ignorance, failing to see reality as it is, that we don't suffer merely because of events, but because of the stories we tell about them. One who embraces impermanence won't collapse before loss. One who clings to what cannot be kept torments himself endlessly. Seen rightly, suffering is a great teacher. It wakes us up, trains us to let go, and lets us understand our own heart and that of others more deeply. Those who walk through suffering without losing faith grow in wisdom. Wisdom is not born of indulgence, but of seeing suffering clearly without being drowned by it. Training the mind. The root of liberation, the Buddha did not start with cultivate the body, but with cultivate the mind. The body expresses the mind. When the mind is stained, the body follows. When the mind is clear, conduct naturally clears. Training the mind is not forcing ourselves to act nice, but recognizing our own shadows. We cannot transform what we refuse to see. When we're angry, know we are angry. When jealous, know we are jealous. This simple knowing is light. Light doesn't wrestle with darkness. It shines, and darkness dissolves. Practice is learning to observe without sticking. The mind is like a lake. When windless, it mirrors the moon. When wind-whipped, the moon is distorted. The waves are not the lake's fault. They're stirred by the winds of greed, aversion, and delusion. Practice doesn't change the moon, it calms the lake. When the lake is still, the moon appears. The middle way, a path of wisdom, the Buddha taught the middle way. Neither indulgence nor self-mortification. Genuine practice neither chases pleasures nor rejects ordinary life. Between the shores of enjoyment and asceticism, the middle way is balance, simple living, mindfulness, and knowing contentment. Not harsh with oneself, and not lax either. The extremes of pleasure and pain both bind us in daily life. The middle way means balance in emotion. Not so elated we lose awareness, not so downcast we lose reason. When praised, know it is only sound. When criticized, know it is also only sound. One who walks the middle way is not puffed up by praise nor crushed by blame. Quiet yet luminous, calm yet deep, compassion and wisdom. Two wings of awakening in Buddhism. Compassion and wisdom are the two wings with which we cross the sea of suffering. Heart and insight supporting one another. Compassion is the capacity to feel another's pain as one's own. But compassion without wisdom becomes blind kindness. Wisdom without compassion becomes cold. With wisdom, we see all as conditionally arisen, so there is no one to hate, no one to resent. With compassion, we help without demanding return. When compassion and wisdom meet, the bodhisattva heart appears, understanding life while loving life, lucid yet tender. Happiness, not the absence of pain, but freedom within it. Many assume we practice just to eliminate suffering. In fact, suffering may not vanish. What changes is our bondage to it. Buddhist happiness is not a constant grin or a stormless life. It is inner freedom, the ability to smile in the storm, to rest within noise, to dwell peacefully in change. Freedom is not doing whatever we feel like. It is not being forced by our compulsions. A free person is not one with few ties, but one whose mind is no longer tied. Buddhist happiness is disarmingly simple, to be truly oneself without harming anyone. Non-self. The gate to freedom. If all phenomena are empty is the world's truth, then non-self is the human truth. The I we defend is only an aggregate of body, feelings, memories, thoughts, each transient. There is no fixed, separate self. Clinging to one breeds suffering. Understanding non-self, we stop wrestling for victory and righteousness. Self and other are like two waves on one ocean, different in shape, the same in water. When the waves settle, the ocean is revealed. When the I softens, true heart appears. Non-self is not irresponsibility. It is working wholeheartedly without claiming credit, loving without demanding return, helping without needing to be known. We act because it is the right thing to do, not to affirm an identity. The Noble Eightfold Path, a way of mindful living. The Buddha did not tell us to pray our way out of suffering. He pointed to a concrete path. The Noble Eightfold Path. Right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. This is not a set of orders, but a direction of awakening. When we see rightly, we naturally think, speak, and act rightly. Right speech calms the mind. A calm mind gives rise to wisdom. Wisdom dissolves suffering. The Eightfold Path is a map to freedom. No faraway heaven promised, but a method to make this very life a field of peace. Practicing the way in the midst of life. Many think practice requires leaving the world, but the Buddha taught, it's not where you go that matters, but how you live. In the marketplace, we can still practice by not lying for gain, by being patient with the difficult, by stopping before anger spills over, by choosing gratitude over complaint. Practice is not limited to chanting sutras. It is living so as not to harm anyone, including ourselves. Every small act can be meditation. Washing dishes with a clear mind, eating with gratitude, working with full presence. That is living Buddhism, not merely reading it. The essence of the Dharma, to love, to understand, to be free. All teachings, scriptures, and rituals return to three words: love, understanding, freedom. Understanding is wisdom, seeing karma, impermanence, others, and oneself clearly. Love is compassion, kindness without condition. Freedom is the fruit, when love and understanding are mature. the mind is unbound. The Buddha does not ask us to become someone else. He invites us to see our true nature. Buddha nature is already within. Dust from the world merely covers it. Wipe the dust with mindful living, and the inner light appears on its own. In the end, Buddhist life philosophy is not about how many sutras we can recite, but about how deeply we live each day. Harm no one, deceive no one, and do not deceive yourself. See impermanence to release clinging. See cause and effect to stop blaming. See non-self to end contention. See suffering so that you may love people more. Then the Dharma is no longer high above, but in each breath. The Buddha is no longer only outside in statues, but alive in the heart. Life is no longer a sea of sorrow, but a school where we learn love and awakening. Final message: keep a kind heart, live lightly, let Geo, be it seen from afar. Life looks like a long journey with countless stages. Seen with a quiet mind, it is only one breath, in and out. All arising and passing, gain and loss, meeting and parting, are but ripples on the surface of the sea. The sea remains the sea, no matter how many shapes the waves may take. So too the essence of a person remains the heart, no matter how many roles life sweeps us through. In the end, everything we learn and all we go through gather into a single word: peace. Every teaching, every philosophy, every path of practice, Zen, Pure Land, or Tao, all point to the same place, where the heart grows still, where the mind is no longer blown about by worldly winds. Point 1. Life is short. Kindly, we often think we have plenty of time. We postpone an apology, hesitate over a hug, feel shy about saying thank you. Then one day, we realize that everything can change in a blink. The person beside us yesterday becomes a memory today. Words left unsaid today may have no ears to receive them tomorrow. Live kindly each day. Not to win praise, but so that at night you can smile at yourself. Kindness is not doing grand deeds, but refraining from harming anyone even in thought. It is listening more than judging, loving more than blaming, yielding more than contending. Kind people are like sunlight, not necessarily dazzling but warm. Wherever they go, they leave no noise behind, only a sense of ease in others. Point 2. Don't blame heaven. Don't resent people. Everyone carries wounds. Some ache from loss, some suffer betrayal, some grow weary from long-borne burdens. No one is exempt from suffering. Suffering is the teacher of all beings. As long as we blame heaven and resent others, we hand our power over to pain. We think others make us suffer, yet we suffer most because we cling to what has passed. Let each pain become a lesson, not a sentence. Instead of asking, why me? Ask, what can I learn? Change the question, and you change your life. No one is perfect, and no one is wholly bad. Those who hurt us are themselves hurt in their own ways. Forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Point 3. No clinging, no entanglement. Most human suffering comes from attachment, clutching what ought to be released and releasing what ought to be held. We cling to praise and become too happy. We cling to blame and become too miserable. We cling to the past, to status, to other people, to ourself. But everything flows. Nothing lasts forever. The river today is not the river of yesterday, and the person we love today is no longer the one from long ago. Everything changes, including us. Attachment is cuffing ourselves with memory. Letting go is not forgetting. It is accepting. Accept that things happen just as they needed to, in order to teach us something. When we stop gripping what has grown old, our hands are free to welcome what is new. Letting go does not make us lose. It makes room to receive. For keep a kind heart in a turbulent world. The more unsettled the world, the more easily hearts grow anxious. Yet in every age, goodness remains a light. Amid competition, there are still people willing to help a stranger. Amid deceit, there are still the honest. Amid coldness, there are still the compassionate. They need not stand out. They only need to be true to conscience. Keeping a kind heart isn't easy, because goodness often takes the short end. But today's losses become tomorrow's blessings. Goodness may be slow, but it endures. It's like rain soaking the earth, quiet, yet it nourishes a forest. Keep a kind heart is to keep the mind from being poisoned by hatred, falsehood, and anger. It is to trust that however deep the darkness, a single small lamp will make it retreat. Point 5. Live lightly. Life is heavy enough. Life is already heavy, weighted by duty, expectation, and worry. If we add resentment, comparisons, and fear, the load will bow us down even faster. Living lightly is not indifference. It is choosing what is worth carrying. Carry love, not hatred. Carry gratitude, not entitlement. Carry joy, not envy. That a small boat can still cross the river, so long as we don't load it with stones. Likewise, the heart finds peace when we put down what is unnecessary. Those who live lightly are not afraid of loss, for they know everything is only on loan. Houses, cars, titles, status, these are garments worn for this life. When we depart, the only things we carry are wholesome deeds and a peaceful mind. Point 6. Learn the art of letting go. Letting go is the highest art of living. Not everyone can do it, because letting go requires wisdom and courage. The weak let go from exhaustion. The strong let go from understanding. Letting go is knowing when to stop. It is ceasing to try to fix those who don't want to change, ceasing to strain to hold what has run its course, ceasing to wait for what was never ours. Letting go accepts that life has both favorable winds and contrary currents, without letting either sweep away our roots. When we let go, we do not lose anything. We merely return to life what belongs to life. We keep only what is worth keeping: a clean heart, a gentle spirit, and the faith that good outlasts evil and light outshines darkness. Point 7. Be at ease. Live in the world without being ruled by it. Ease, to tie, is not isolation but inner freedom. To stand in a marketplace with a mind like a meditation hall, to face praise and blame without being shaken, to work in the world without losing oneself to the world. Those at ease know that what comes will go, and what is lost will someday be found in another form. Everything is a meeting of conditions: arrive when ripe, disperse when done. So they are not overly elated in gain, nor devastated in loss. They live fully in each moment, yet are not bound by any moment. Ease is doing our utmost without demanding a perfect outcome, loving wholeheartedly without insisting on return, helping completely without waiting for thanks. Then we are free, for nothing governs us but our own heart. Point 8. Everything passes, perhaps the simplest and deepest consolation in life. Everything passes. Joy passes, sorrow passes, and this very life will pass. Knowing this, we cling less, worry less, fear less. We do not panic in hardship, because no storm lasts forever. Nor are we complacent in ease, because sunshine too will fade. The only permanence is change. Only those who learn to live amid change truly find peace. Point 9. A peaceful heart is the one true treasure. Throughout life, we chase many things: money, status, love, knowledge, power. In the end, everyone wants only one thing: peace. Peace is not a place without sound. It is a heart without turmoil. Peace is not when everything goes our way. It is when we can smile even when it doesn't. Some think peace lives far away, but it is right here, in the breath, in a cup of tea, in the gentle eyes of a loved one, in the moments when we stop running from ourselves. No one can bring us peace, because peace does not come from outside. It blossoms when the heart is wide enough to hold everything without breaking. Point 10. In closing, sow seeds of goodness. One day, all things will pass. Only what we have sown will remain. Sow kind words, and they will be remembered. Sow love, and life will respond. Sow anger, and suffering will return. Choose to sow what is wholesome, not to get anything in return, but because it is the only thing worth sowing. When enough of us plant seeds of peace, the world will soften on its own. Live more slowly, more lightly, with more gratitude. Smile at yourself, at others, even at what once made you cry. For everything is Dian. conditions arriving to help us see our path more clearly. When our heart is peaceful, the world around us naturally calms. When we live kindly, life naturally brightens. When we learn to let go, the mind naturally becomes light. And when we truly understand, we have only this to say: a life need not be long, only gentle.